In the last tutorial, we have used the malloc function call in order to allocate memory dynamically. There is another variation. We can use the calloc function instead of malloc in order to allocate dynamic memory in C programming. The declaration of the calloc is given in the same header, stdleaf.h. So we need to include that as well for using calloc. The main difference between malloc and calloc is that malloc doesn't do any kind of default or implicit initialization to the allocated space. Thus, the allocated space contains garbage values. But if we are using calloc function call in order to allocate dynamic memory, then calloc initializes each byte with 0. So calloc does default initialization to the dynamic memory. So if we need our allocated space to be initialized with 0, then we can use calloc instead of malloc. There is another difference. Malloc receives only one argument, and that is the size of the dynamic memory, but calloc receives two arguments. First one is the number of elements that we need to allocate, and the second one is the size of each element. So these are the two fundamental differences between malloc and calloc, but the rest of the things are just same. On failure, both returns null. On successful allocation, both returns the void pointer to the base address, and both allocates contiguous memory in the heap. So I'm just changing this to show you what's the syntax of calloc. Here it was malloc in the earlier example. I'm just changing it to calloc. So the first argument, you can see that it's the number of elements that we need to allocate, and the second is size of each element. So this is the calloc call, and it's going to allocate the memory and return the base address as void pointer, and we will cast it as usual to our appropriate type. Now that's all about calloc. Now if I just go on and run this program, it will accept n numbers into the dynamic memory and print it as it did in the last tutorial. It's the same program with the last tutorial, only we have changed this line. From malloc I have changed it to calloc. Thank you.